We got a question for our American mamas. Dear mamas, thanks for posting those videos of the kids standing up against critical race theory and LGBTQ issues.
Well, let's see what our American mamas have to say about that.
That's the wrong one. Hold on.
Mama, mama.
Told me not to come. She said, that ain't the way I know.
And joining us now are American mamas, Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. I can think of a couple of videos y'all have posted recently. One, there was a boy who stood up and said, hey, look, I'm out of the school, but what you guys are teaching is hate, and you got to stop that. And then there was another one with the girl talking about how they were teaching things that were personally painful to her, telling her that she had white privilege, and she told her backstory. And I think
it actually Denise brought that story to our page, and when I listened to it, made me want to cry, and I had chills like 3 different times. I hope people listen to her story.
I haven't thought about that aspect. I haven't thought about the aspect of a young girl who was in foster care that had been sexually abused.
She had trauma. Yes.
Trauma. And, the whole world is worrying about triggers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're triggering, by trying to teach all this new sexuality and all this sex education, all this weird stuff in school. You are triggering her. This is a child that stays in therapy as it is.
And then
and so she's like, she has many layers, because her other thing is she's being taught that because she's white, she has privilege. And then she goes on to say, so at 15 months, when they found me in a house with my crackhead parents who I was taken from with holes in the floor, and I'm eating cat poop, that doesn't feel like privilege.
Amen, sister.
So have we really checked in on everybody? Are we really looking out for everyone when we're doing this?
Right. She said she's uncomfortable when they talk about sexuality in the classes. She said not only does it cause her trauma internally, but it causes her confusion, because some of the things that they're teaching about sexuality is some of the very things that caused her trauma when somebody physically, sexually abused her.
Right.
So she's confused, and it's causing her pain and suffering. So she's saying, what about me? And, Denise just made the point about the white privilege. People don't think about that. Just because your skin color is white does not mean you were privileged. And she's a perfect example. There's so many thousands and thousands, millions of people who grew up in situations where they're like, okay, I do have the color of skin you're talking about, but my life was miserable. I was abused. We were poor. We were eating cat poop, and nobody cares about them. Why wouldn't they shut it down immediately when this girl goes to the principal and says, this is uncomfortable for me? This is something that triggers. This is something I'm having nightmares, she said. She cried herself to sleep that first night.
Yeah, her foster mom, or the woman that's adopted her now, has really been struggling and having a hard time with it.
Yes.
And so now they're having to pull her out of school.
And
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the school have to conform? Why does she have to leave?
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, because she keeps saying, you're trying to divide us. And that's what we're doing.
Exactly, please.
We're teaching everyone to see that you're different.
Critical race theory is probably the most divisive thing. It's the most, to me, I feel like if there's ever going to be one thing that divides us and puts a wedge between races, it is this critical race theory that they're trying to push in these schools. It's wrong. It's dead wrong. And
it's dangerous.
Even the black community, you have people standing up saying, don't teach our children this. You're teaching hate.
But here's the thing, Terry. You can't even keep your head on straight during this new ball game we're in, because you have that. Okay, we got critical race theory. We want to teach you are different. They just keep pounding that in and pounding it in. And then you've got other things going on, like LGBTQ community. Okay. And then you have these women groups. Okay, well, what they want you to do is say, we're no different. We're no different than you. We're the same as you. What? Hell, are you confused?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yes, they are confused.
So we got 2 sets of people we want to divide and conquer, and then we have other groups of people that they want you to know that they deserve as much as you do. Their pay should be as much as you. You should accept them as much. So I'm so confused. So who's deciding? Who's making all these decisions?
Well,
but these parents cannot back down.
Sadly,
this is the most important time in a child's life.
Absolutely. The people who are making these kinds of decisions, they're leaning to the left. I'm looking at the liberal leaders in our community and in our country. They are the ones that are causing all of this turmoil based on what they've decided to put in legislation. And I I don't understand why we cannot push back on this. Why parents are coming forward, children are coming forward. Why can we not push this all the way back?
Terry, I think they are starting to push back because I did read an article that stated that in a lot of these school board situations that these parents are going back in and they are reconsidering who they put in those chairs, and they are about to get their bohonies out of those chairs because they're not doing what's in the best interest of their children. And there are a lot of people that have fostered children. There are a lot of women that have, helped other people raise their children that have that mothering instinct. But if you don't know anything about raising a child, then you need to zip it and sit back down. You don't get to make decisions for parents anymore. And this is a time in this country for parents. You better grab a hold of your morals, your standards, everything that you believe in the Bible, and you better get to that school and you better take the wheels off this bus because it is going over a cliff.
Amen.
If you'd like to ask our American Mamas a question, go to our website, AmericanGroundRadio.com/mamas, and click on the Ask the Mamas button. Terry Netterville, Denise Arthur, thank y'all.
Thank you.